Again, we're doing advanced training, so the topics are going to be the online display writer and building your own custom search forms. So we're going to go ahead and get into InnoVia. We're on your home page, and a couple of things before we actually start the online display writer. A couple of things that I wanted to point out on your home page before we actually get started. The board news is going to be right here on the corner. Some of you have noticed that. It pops up in front of you every time you log in. If you read basically when you first log in, and if there's a new one that comes up, if you'll scroll to the bottom of the page and you'll click the word OK, then it won't come up anymore until there's a new board news posted. So a lot of people will X-close that, and if they X-close it, then it'll keep coming up. It doesn't recognize that you've read it. So make sure you're reading these, very important. We'll put anything to help you here, and then also all of those InnoVia recordings will also be here, hopefully by today. So a couple of things I wanted to go over on your home page. For any of you that have that you can edit your own listings and you can add your own listings and do something with your listings, you can easily access it right from your own inventory. So if you had any listings, they would be right here on your own inventory, and all you have to do is click on your own inventory. We're going to pretend this is my inventory, which is not, but you can edit the listing right from here. You can look at it to make sure it's in the right spot on the map. You can add documents, add photos, go to Supra, share it on any of these websites, and then also share it on Facebook. So a lot of people don't know that you can get to listing maintenance from here. It's the quickest way for you to access your listings to do anything with them. So this, if I had a price change, just click Edit Listing. Instead of you going up to maintenance and then going to listings, just click on the one you need to make a change to right from your home page. A couple of other things, any of yours that go under contract, they'll be under the UC, and then closed will be here. All right. The other thing I wanted to show you quickly for tips and tricks on your home page is you have My Favorite Searches. You can make any of your searches to be your favorites, and the purpose of this is right from your home page. You're in a hurry. You don't want to go pull a search up that you saved. That means you have to go into a search page and then say Get Searched. Well, that's like 4 clicks. So if you save all of your saved searches as a favorite, these are all of my favorite searches, all you have to do is click on one, and it will automatically run that search for me every single day. You can do it 50 times a day, but it's always going to show it up to date for that saved search of, whatever I named that, 400,000 or whatever. How do you make these your favorite searches? First, you have to have some saved searches. So in any property type you're in, let's just go to land, for example. We always spend time in residential, but they're all the same. But I can say I want active, I want, let's just say farm. And let's just say that's all I want. I'm going to do save search and give it a name. And then click OK. If you will look under your maintenance tab, you have set default favorite search. So if I click on set default favorite search, I can make all of these my favorites. So there's one we just did called My Farm, and I can say set default save searches, and now go back to my home page, and I should have that one under my favorite searches. So that way you're not having to go through to get the search, pull it up again. You can put all different property type searches under here. So hopefully that will help you, some of you out on, that are looking for quick ways to do things. A couple other things that you have on your home page. Most of you might already know this if you've attended any of my previous classes or webinars. But at the top of this corner of your page, you have a little pencil icon, and it allows you to edit this page, which means you can add stuff onto your home page, like you want to see the weather, you want to see market trends, you want to see a calendar, and I can close that, and it will add all of those widgets on my home page. To take them away, all you have to do is go back to the edit icon, or you can click on the X. You can also move these around. So you can unlock it with this padlock. All you do is click on the unlock, and you can move these on the left up or down, and just drag and drop. And then the center pieces, any of these you just drag and drop wherever you want them. And then I'm going to close it, and now it's the way I want it. So you can make this items that you want to see on your own home page. The next thing I wanted to show you that a lot of people are interested in is there's an icon here on links of interest. These are all links that we have made for you. And it was important links that you go to all the time. So basically, if I wanted to go to see your ImageMate, Tompkins County, if I click that, it's just going to link me out to another browser to the page that you normally go to. It's open to a new window, so all you have to do is just click back, and you can be in both at the same time. What I wanted to show you is you can put your own links in here by this little icon here. So I'm just going to click on Edit Links of Interest, and as long as you type out the website address, the URL, so www. Maybe you go to your Hotmail all the time. Maybe you go to your news, your local newspaper. Captions, just what do you want to show on the home page? What's it going to say? So that's going to say mail. And then I'm just going to add link, return back to my InnoVia, and now underneath all of the links you should have mail, and that would take you to any links you want. You're putting that on there just for yourself. Okay, another tip on the home page, that might be everything I wanted to go over. Don't forget that you do have help up here at the top, but let's just go in and do a search and go ahead and move into your online display writer. So I'm going to go do a search, and I'm going to do active, single family, any criteria that I put on the search page. You also notice over here on the left you have last searches. The system will remember the last 10 searches, it might be last 15, searches that you have done, that you've actually executed. So if you just came in here and put criteria and then you went back to home, that's not an actually executed search, so it won't remember that. But the last ones you actually ran, it's just going to remember that here in case you ever just needed to jump back to one. I'm going to say I'm going to do a search. Oh, let's put 200,000 to 250,000. Just on a search page, if any of you, for tips and tricks, you want to do 200,000 to 250, but you can also do 200,000 and plus. Most of you probably know this by now, hopefully. That'll do 200,000, everything above. And then if you do the opposite of 2,000 and minus, that's everything 200,000 and below. You can do that on every field that has a plus and minus. So if you're looking for an acreage, if you're looking for a particular year built, I can do 1999 and plus. And that would give me everything past 1999. On your sold date field or any of your date fields, you can use the letter T for today, and you can do T minus 365 days, and that will go back searching last year. Or you can do T minus 36 days. So you can either put in the dates, or you can use the T minus on all of the date fields. So some of you don't know that, that hopefully would help. It speeds things up. All right, also remember, you always have map-based search in all of your on all of your search pages. We've done that in the previous webinars where you can draw the figures. You also can change your layers, and you can add points of interest. And then if you just automatically zoom in, you can get really close and it will change the bird's eye view. All right, so we're going to do 200,000 to 250. And we're going to say search. And we're going to do view all. You should always use view all, not continue, but view all. Continue, you'll only see a couple at a time. View all will allow you to see all 49 at once. It saves time. So let's do view all. It brings up what we call a one-liner. So here you have a one-liner display over on the left. You can change it to other displays. But if we worked with the MLS to determine what fields were on this one-liner display. So we put MLS here, we put property, we put status, list price, street, direction, address, style. We chose all of these data fields to go on your one-liner. But you want, let's see, you want square footage. Or you want basically anything else, bedrooms, bathrooms, anything you want to add to this, you can go build your own. So what we're going to do now is actually go in and build our own custom display because I don't want to use this one. So I'm going to go to search, and if you look under your search menu all the way down, you have custom displays. Now, we're going to build the one-liner first. And then after the one-liner, we're actually going to show you where you can build your own display like this. This is a little more time-consuming. Building a one-liner takes 2 minutes. It's very easy. But building one of these, I can tell you, this is a section. So we have to build the sections, and you have to put the data in there, and then you have to build another section, all the way down. So we're going to build a one-liner first, and then we will build a full report. So they're both found in the same place. We're going to go to Custom Displays. You will not have any here at all because you haven't built anything yet. So we're just going to click New. And we're going to give it a name. My Class One-Liner. You could call it, one with souls, whatever you want to name it, and you're going to build a one-liner, and it gives you an example of what you're building down below. We're going to click Next. These are all of your data fields in the whole system in alphabetical order. So let's say you want address. You're going to click on it, and you're going to say Add, or you can just double-click, and it moves it over. I'm going to do, let's say, MLS number. I want lake name. MLS number. I do want a small photo. You can do that. Double click or click Add. Let's say I want status. And you want the status there, it'll do the code or it'll spell it out. Let's just spell it out here. Let's do style. And I want year built. And I think that's probably all. Let's do bedrooms, bathrooms. Full baths. And then bedrooms. All right, then you can put them in whatever order you want by clicking the same up or down. So I'm going to do address first, and then I want MLS number. I want lake name to be towards the bottom. I want bedrooms and baths. And you just move it wherever you want. And we're actually going to put the photo on the very end. Then you can get even more detailed with this. You can go into address. What I do? And you can go into the properties for that. So you could change this to maybe you want to shorten the heading to just add. You want to abbreviate it. You could restrict it so when you do a search and address only comes up. Well, you wouldn't do that for address, but it would only come up for those statuses when you do that search. You could link address to, right now it links to the map. Every time you click on the address in InnoVia, it goes to the map. You could link it to something else if you wanted. You could set a maximum number of characters and you can align it. So you can really get detailed. I personally don't get caught up in this section here. You don't have to, but you can. Anytime you want to see what you've built, all you have to do is click preview, and it should show you a preview. So we did address, MLS number, full baths, bedroom status. See how much room full baths is taking? So I probably would want to shorten that header maybe in that case. And maybe you could shorten bedrooms to BED, right? So that way you can fit more stuff on one page. So I'm going to do, just go back, not return to search, but go back. Oops, I just lost it. Well, I don't know how that just happened. Let's see it. So we'll do full bath again. Lake name. Year built. Status. And MLS number. We'll just make it short. You can also put a title here, which will give it a title. So we're just going to say title. You can include the check boxes, defaults. You can include the embedded links, which means when you click on address, it takes you to the map. You can make the title. All of these are fonts. So this would do the font looking like that. The example is going to show you down below where I could do the font small for the title. Then you want the label. So you want the label of address, and you can change the font of that if you want. And then you have the data font, and you can make that whatever you want. So these mean nothing. That's just code for the different fonts. And it gives you an example of the font down below. And then you can preview it. We're going to say save. But before we move on, you can choose how many results it will show per page. The default is 30. And you can share it. So you could share it, if you're going to build one, you could share it with your office or your firm. Okay, I'm going to do save. Then if I go do a search, I'm just going to use one we had. We'll just pull up one of the last searches. You're going to use view all, but for this I'm just going to quickly use continue. And I'm going to change my display. Any displays that you have built are going to be right here in the blue at the bottom. So I could go to my sold one, which gave me nothing. Let's go to my class. There we go. The class one-liner is what we just built. So I did the title of this font. We did these little boxes around my fields at the top, and then all your data font we did in large data. So basically, I could make as many of these as I would like. One reason that I absolutely like where you can build your own one-liner is because it automatically allows you to click Excel right here, and it will take all this data and open up in Excel. You can also click comma separated value, and it will take all this data and open it up in a CSV file. So if you need to take data out of the system and import it into an Excel file for something, maybe you do reports of your own, you can easily do that by building your own custom display, and will automatically put it at the top where you can just export it out. And you should still, I need to have that. That should have went straight to the map. This should take me, the same embedded links that we had previously. And I'll look at those embedded links to make sure they are linking out to the maps and so on. Okay, if that is the one that you like and you built that and you want to use that one constantly, you can go to search, and underneath comprehensive CMA you have display preferences. You can now make your default one of the ones you have built, which are going to be in blue. So I could say my class one-liner to make my defaults, and we're on residential search, and you're going to say save. You can also make a default for each one of your property type searches. You can, any of the displays that you don't ever want to use or don't like, you can exclude them and take them out. And then say save. So now if I do a search, and we'll use the last one we just did. Went to the second to last one we did. And then that pulls it up automatically in my particular one-liner. So just to recap what we did, we went to get to this, it's under your search menu. You go to custom displays, and you just do new. You're going to give it a title. And you're going to say next, a different title than you don't already have. And we're going to go to next, and then just click on the field that you want. Very easy, and then save. You can preview, but save, and there you have it. All right? You can do that for each property type search. You can also, if you have one built and you don't want to build it all over again, but you just want to copy it and add an addition to it, so then you have two. They're a little bit different. You have clone existing. So if you share one with someone in your office, it will not automatically show up in their list because people would be sharing them all day long, and I'd have all these displays in my display list that I don't want. So it doesn't automatically show up in their list. What it does is it automatically will show up here. So any that you have shared, you can click Clone Existing. If I shared this with my office admin can come in and say Clone Existing. And then this would show any of mine that my firm has shared with me. And I just click on it, and it copies it. You could preview it to see if that's even what you want. And if I say, you know, I like that, but I want to add a few more fields. So let's just go back. Change this to something you would recognize. And we're going to say OK. And all it does is copy it. It's supposed to copy it. It will copy it and put it into here. And then you just click Edit. So basically, you're just cloning one. And I'll make sure, like I said, I'll go through all this to make sure it's all correct, copied correctly, and so on. We have made, what did we make? We made a one-liner for you to copy. If you like the one-liner we made, so here's the one we've made, customer, it'll be under board. So I believe when you first come in, you won't have any offices, you won't have any displays you fill. You will have to click on board, and you should have customer service market links. And I'll double check this, and I'm pretty sure this is under all of your logins. And you check, you just highlight, click on the one you want to copy and give it a new name. And you would click OK, and then go edit it. Let's just see which one. Yeah, that's not the one you want. I'll make sure that we actually have one under here that you could copy. That's just like the one that shows by default. So keep in mind, I will have one under board. I'm going to make one-liner for you to copy. And I'll also make a full display for you to copy. It will be under board. Okay. Let's cancel this. Now let's build a full detailed display. I don't suggest people building one from scratch because it takes quite some time, but you can. If I build one for you here at CoreLogic for you to copy, so I'll build one for you, it will be under board, and you can copy it and then just modify the one I have made to save some people some work. But let's build one from scratch because there are some people out there that want to build one from scratch, and you're more than welcome to, so I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to go to New, I'm going to put a display name, my full report. And I'm going to choose a detail display, which is that great big display. It gives you an example. I'm going to say next. Here's your page from top to bottom, and you have nothing. So what you have to do is you add. And you've got to add sections. So each section has to have a name. And I would do a photo block, and then you have label data pairs, which usually it'll give you an example of what you would put in the label data pairs. Free form would be like your dimensions of the rooms if you want that. Multi-photo would put multiple photos, and then there's a prepared by block if you want to do that. So let's just go back to the photo block, and we're going to give it a name. So this is going to be, I'm going to call this one address. I'm going to click OK. How many rows and how many columns do you want? I have one column, and I have two columns. I have 13 rows if I count down, there's 13. You can put the photo larger or smaller. You can put the photo on the left or the right. I'm going to leave it at 13 rows, 2 columns, but maybe you want 3 columns. Click OK, and that comes back to here. So you would add all the sections you want, but there's no data in these sections. So now you have to highlight it and go to Layout. And now you're going to drag and drop. Remember how we said 13 rows and 3 columns? You're going to drag and drop the fields that you want on your 13 rows and your 3 column fields. So I could pull over, let's say, everything's in alphabetical order. This is your, just put all kinds of stuff in here. Household, we might want that. I mean, you would put anything you want, list price, MLS number, list date, and you would fill out all of these. All of these are your coded features. Those are the things that you find under that button on a search page. That's its coded features. So that's everything pertaining to the house. Oops, sorry. I could pull that over, drag and drop. You can also double-click any of these data fields and go to the properties, where you could restrict exterior only shows to. You could change that label style to a different label style. You can change the label from exterior to say something completely different. This is a little overkill to me, but you're more than welcome to do this. But I think that makes it a little bit harder. So basically, you're just dragging and dropping the field you want. These labels are just blank labels to take up space. If you wanted to put space between here, you can also name this label something else, or you don't have to label it anything. So I could call this, it won't be any data there. Usually I erase the labels, and I just leave it as extra space. So we'll leave a line there. And then I could bring something else over. Let's say property subtype. So I'm not going to bore you pulling all these over, so we're just going to say save. So we've done address. Then you would add another section. And we're going to add, so a whole display is multiples of these sections. And when I build one for you to copy, I'm going to label each one so it makes sense. If it's address, it's going to have all the address stuff in it. If it's room dimensions, I'll name it room dimensions, so you'll know. But you're going to add all these sections that you want. So let's say label data pairs. So we'll call this would probably be coded features. This would be better. Or we'll just call it features. And click OK. How many rows, how many columns? And basically for the label field, it's a column consists of a label field pair. So how many rows, how many columns? We have 2 columns, 10 rows. I'm going to click OK. Well, actually 5 rows. Let's do 5 and 2. Click OK. Now you're going to click on it and go to Layout. Again, you would bring over Drag and drop. Whatever fields you want here. And we do save. Anytime you're building this, you can preview what you have at that time. So that's what we've built so far. See how we did a label, a blank label here, how it spaced that out? That was the purpose of using that blank one. Okay, I'm going to go back. Next thing, we would add another section. You could add freeform, but let's add the multi-photo block. You don't have to add anything to this. Just do photos, and it will automatically pull 4 photos across. So we're going to leave that. We're going to add another section just to show you prepare by block. You've got to give each section a name, so we're going to call this one me, because it's going to be information about me. How many rows and how many columns? Again, click OK. And now we're going to highlight me and go to layout. I'm going to pull over my address. Excuse me, I'm sorry, I tried to hold that in. We've got email. We have office phone. Maybe you want your office website. You want your agent and your cell phone. And now we're going to do save. Now, if you wanted to move these sections up and down, you can easily do that. But I'm going to leave it. You can remember how a full display has the links at the top. So I can include the links bar. I can include the embedded links. You can draw a border around it. You can give it a title if you want. You can change the font, again, of all of the labels, and then all of the data fonts. All right, so let's preview what we have now. That's what we've built so far. So you can see it does take some time because you'd add a section, add another section, add another section, add another section, but you can really make your own, basically your own display of whatever fields you want. Okay. If you wanted to copy from some of your old displays that you have built, you can choose the section. So basically we just did that My Displays. I could find the display we're working on right now. I don't remember what I called it, but we'll just say this one. And then I could pull in sections. So I could copy, basically you could drag these over and say copy, and that would pull that section into here. So if you built one that you really, really like, you can copy sections from it the next time you build one. So I'm building a whole new one, I can just say copy it from another one. And we can preview and see what that looks like. So we added that section in. So the very first time you build one is the most time consuming, but after you have one you like, if you could just easily copy it and modify it, copy it, modify it, and have several different displays that you like. All right, I'm going to go back to the display builder menu. I'm going to show you the easiest way I'm going to make this for you. If it were me, you could start and build one new from scratch, like we did. You would choose, give it a title, just to recap what we just did. Class 3, and we'll do next. And you're going to add all your sections and then go to layout for each section. That's kind of time consuming, but that's even how we have to build them. So the easiest way I'm going to make it is we're going to do clone existing. Clone existing, you will have, again, under here, you're going to have one I will put that's going to say my under board. I believe I'll save it under board, if I'm not mistaken. You will have one you can copy. So basically, you'll look here and it will say residential full display. So I'm going to have one that you can actually just use. We're going to use, and you're going to copy it, and then you're going to make it whatever you want. Let's actually copy this one. We're going to call this My Customer Display. So maybe you really like the full display, but you just wish you could change maybe 2 little things on it. My Customer Display. I'm going to say Preview. Will allow me to preview and see what that looks like. So you like this, but you wish that it had something, but I'm going to actually have your full display under here. You wish that it had something besides full baths here. Or you wish you could take out dimensions of the bedrooms. You don't like that. What you can do by copying it, display. I'm going to click OK. And now find it in the list. And now we're going to do edit. And we will add, this is where you'll be able to see, this is about address, this is features, this is, whatever it is that you want to edit. Find the field and just click on it and go to layout. And then you could take stuff out and put stuff in that you want. Or just, if I don't want it to say property subtype, take it out. And then click Save. So basically, I'm going to make one for you to copy that you can easily modify. Maybe you like the one we've built, but you really wanted to add that more. I have a lot of people that want to add all those photos at the bottom, right onto the display. So I could go to Add, and just add the multi-photo block. Just give it a name. Photos. Pretty good name. And we're going to click OK. So you'll take our full display and you just added a whole section of photos. And you can put it wherever you want. So basically the easiest way to build one is you're going to be able to say clone existing. And I will have one under here, under board. And you might have to go from board to customer service. But I was going to say full residential full display. You will actually be able to copy it and then just move sections you want and edit. Okay, now if you were looking at one of these and you don't want it to be in that display, but you want to change it to the one you built, there you have it. Not the prettiest one, but you get the point. And all these little icons will take you to wherever you need to go to. And you can also take these off of the full display. All right. So that's building your own custom displays and making them your display preferences to make them your default. I'm going to go back to display preferences. I'm going to change my default. I like the photo one-liner the best. So now every time I do a search, it's going to be in a photo one-liner right here. All right. This is a search form. So we made this search form to be all kinds of fields that you can search by. Half of you don't use half of this stuff. Half of you use school. You use style. You use bedrooms, bathrooms, status, property type, and you might search by exterior features. So half of you don't use all these data fields. You can go build your own search page. Again, under the search menu, you have something that says Custom Search Forms. See how multifamily has no little arrow to the right? But notice how residential does. I have built 2 of my own residential search forms. You can have as many as you would like. So I'm going to go to Custom Search Forms. Again, it's going to look kind of like the display. You're going to choose your form you're building it for, what search, property type, residential, and you're going to do New. And this is really easy. Give it a name that you would recognize. This is going to be mine. See if I have one already that's called mine. Yep. And let's go to Next. And you're going to drag and drop. This is your search page. You don't have to use all these fields. But drag and drop the fields you want to search by. So I always search by list date, style, status. You're just putting them wherever you want. Most people I tell to put towards the top of the page because then you don't have to scroll down. Year built. Elementary school. Bedrooms. Bathrooms. Where's bathroom? Oh, you call it full baths. And let's say late name. Notice to the right, these are all your coded features. So I really like building your own search pages if you use a lot of these coded features because they'll show up right on the page. So if I go into exterior features, remember I wanted that, we can add that in. You can include the map-based search. You can share it. Remember, if you share it with someone in your office or your firm, it doesn't automatically show up in their list. They have to come in here and clone it. So I'm going to click Save. So now I have it. Now I'm going to go to Search. Under Residential, I have the one called Mine. And there's my search page. I totally recommend you building your own search pages. Look, now I don't have to scroll through. You still have the map-based search. You put all your coded features right on the search page directly, so you can just hold down your control to do multiples. Someone else, is there any way to make the font bigger? And there is not really. The only thing I tell people is do Control plus. Usually will work, it might not. Yeah. So if you do Control plus on your keyboard, it will make it bigger, but there's no way to actually physically make the font bigger. And just when you do Control plus, you'll have to do Control. Basically, you're just doing your screen resolution larger. But I mean, that does make a huge difference. It just makes you have to scroll a little more. Now, if there's something here you wanted to search by and you said, shoot, I forgot to add something on there, you can go right from Edit Form and you can pull in something else. And then do Save. And now when I go back to Residential, Mine, I now have that new feature. What do we add? Driveway. So you can make your own custom search forms. And you can do that for every single property type. Okay, so we did custom displays, we did online display writer, well, custom display is online display writer, and then we did custom search form, display preferences. I also showed you a couple things, how to set your favorite searches. You also have favorite searches from here. What else? There was one more thing I wanted to show you that was a tip and trick under hot sheets. Notice how you get a hot sheet every single night, and it's going to be this hot sheet. It should be getting emailed to you nightly. If you are not getting this e-hot sheet sent to you nightly, if you will click on your name where it says welcome and your name, and then down below, you see here it says receive e-hot sheet. Change it to yes, and you will start getting it if you're not getting it. Or if you are getting it, you don't want to get it anymore, change it to no, and then click save. So all I did to do that was click here. Some people really like getting that e-hot sheet because they go to their email first before they come into InnoVia. But also on the hot sheet, you can only go back 5 days. If you want to go back further than 5 days, you're going to go to Hot Sheet Search. And on Hot Sheet Search, you can say, I want to do, I could leave everything and let's say I want to know everything that's new. I only want to go back activity date T minus 30. And I want to know everything that's new and had a price change. 174. So that's going to go from today back 30 days and show me everything that had a price change and that was listed as new. If you do nothing on here except for put T minus 30, that would give you all property types that had every single status. So you don't have to highlight all these, if that makes sense. So if I did 425, that's everything that's happened in 30 days. 425 changes have happened. Or listings have happened, price changes, expired, withdrawn, all of this is happening. So you can either choose the ones you want. If you choose nothing, it automatically does them all. Which brings me to another hint that helps a lot of people. You don't care about anything except for what's new, what had a price change, what was expired, what sold, these couple of things here. And you only care about residential because you do nothing else with any of these other property types. And then maybe you only work in this city, or this school district, or this elementary school. I mean, whatever it is you want. You can even draw a figure on the map and say, I only work in this area. It's a pretty big area. My point is, if you don't put a date in activity date, and you click the word Save Search, and you click, give it a title. So it could be My Hot Sheet. And I'm going to click Email Me. You can also put an expire date, so it will stop emailing you after a certain amount of time. I think you might have to. I can't remember. We'll see if it works without it. We're going to do OK. Yeah, you don't even have to have one. It will automatically email you that custom hot sheet every single night. So that way you're going to get just the area you work in. You're going to get, we drew that circle. You would only get new price change, expired, sold, and under contract for residential. So you can make as many custom hot sheets. If you have a client that keeps, you're watching a particular neighborhood, you're waiting for price changes in there, don't come in and do the search every day. Save it as a hot sheet search, and it'll email you every night. So that's a huge hint on our hot sheet. The other thing I wanted to point out, and we'll be almost done, let's see if there's anything under maintenance. Oh, under maintenance. Remember how on the home page you have bulletin boards? This is for you as agents where you can put in, like, for example, this one here. I can click there and I can see that MLS number. So if you wanted to highlight a particular property, like I wanted to do, I'm doing an extra commission, or I'm having a holiday thing at this property, that, whatever, you can put your own bulletins out that everyone can see. So how you do that is under maintenance, and you have bulletin board maintenance. It's very easy. All you do is do add new. You're going to put in, my font is so big so I have this zoomed in, but I can put in the MLS number. I can put the start date, the end date, the title of the headline, and then the body of it when they click on it. You can even, spell check, change the color, make it bold, blah, 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 all this good stuff. And then click Save, and it will stay on that home page until it expires. Usually, they will fall off. Usually the board has it set to, they'll automatically erase, within 7 or 10 days or whatever. I don't know what your setting is set to. The other thing that you have that I wanted to point out is under reports. A lot of you will have several reports. This is a really good one. A lot of people like the absorption rate and probability. It's great for sellers when you want to tell them what the probability is of selling your house in a particular, their area. And it will tell you based on the market. The other one is going to be down at the bottom. You have market trends. A lot of people like those market trends reports. This is not completely finished yet. We're waiting on a couple of things. This comes from CoreLogic data, so it took a little bit longer for that. As soon as Market Trends is available, we'll post it on the board news. They're pulling in a couple more little things. I don't think it'll do anything yet, and it might. But it will take, you'll also notice it's in Realist as well. The other thing I wanted to show you under reports is this email tracking statistics. If somebody wants to know if they got an email, you can come in and you can put in email subject, your email body, your email date, whatever you want. But I know I've sent an email to John Doe. I'm going to put myself in here because I know I've sent myself an email through the system. This will not work if you send it from Outlook because we have no way to show, what you have your own sent in your own Outlook. But if this is when you do an email and you click send it. So I can put email to, I know I emailed this client. Here are all the emails I've ever sent that client. So here's where I sent our test, here's where I sent no subject, here's where I said, hello. In here, it will tell you when you send it. If never resent, if they've ever viewed it, you can resend it from here and you can also view the email. So here's what I sent her. I sent that particular customer display and the one below that. So if you ever needed to go back, there's Market Trends. They are working now. So if you ever need to go back under reports, you have email tracking statistics. And you can see if they're viewing those emails, you could resend them, and so on. Question of, can we create our own custom reports? No. But if you go into Market Trends allows you to customize it a little bit more, but not completely. So Market Trends will take you into charts, different reports. You can, this will actually do a lot. If you're a stat person, you can make all these really creative reports. There is a base version. What you have is the basic version here that they're pretty static. But if you want to be able to really go in and get down to little bitty pieces of this, there is a subscribe where you can subscribe to this. I believe it's $1.99 for the whole year. I really don't hold me to that. Or if you just want to try it out, you can do subscribe now and you can play with it for 14 days. See if it's something you like and then you just cancel it. I actually have to do the same thing. I subscribed for 14 days to see what it was like. People absolutely love all these different reports, especially the ones that you can actually go in and make them charts and pie charts, and you can even take them and link them on, embed them into your website. You can even do that with a basic version. You can share them on Facebook. You can download them. So Market Trends does a lot. And I might have a webinar just on Market Trends. I'll have probably the guy from Realist do this because he's great at it. So we'll talk about that. But right now, for the reports, that's about all you have for customizing them. If there's something on one of these reports, though, that you think needs to be there, such as, we can't make the reports, for every single person, but like market activity report. If there's something more, another field you would like here, like elementary school, or, we're running across some of that stuff, just let them know at the board, and then they'll talk about it and let us know. So, some of these reports, you might want a couple more fields on some of them, and just let us know. All right, well, that's going to end our webinar. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you got some tips and tricks. I hope this helped you, and I will talk to you again in a later time on another webinar. Thanks for taking the time, and bye.